In every generation, there is a Slayer. No, I mean, uh, when film season hits, I don't get to go to these festivals, man. I I get excited about films in advance when I hear about them, and then they hit festivals, and people are like, "Oh, by the way, that thing you were excited for, it's not great." And there were two films this year that hit festivals where I was excited enough for them and knew about them and thought, you know what, you're gonna be wrong. I'm gonna still like this movie. And the first one was Ballad of Small Player, which turned out to be a mess, which is sad because I really loved Edward Berger and I was really hopeful for that. And the second film was After the Hunt, and I liked it. What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stein from MagMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I liked After the Hunt. Um, this is directed by Luca Guadagnino. I'm deep in the throes of an illness, so I apologize. I didn't even bother to put my hat on. And then I sat down in the chair and I was like, my hat's not on for the video. I always do that. Fuck it. I just can't. So God help me through this video if I cough or sneeze or something. I'm here. So After the Hunt, Julia Roberts, Iowa Debris, Andrew Garfield, sort of the big three that people talk about a lot, although I really feel like we need to talk more about Michael Stuhlbarg. I actually had already nominated for one of the things that I vote for, and I absolutely had a spot for Michael Stuhlbarg in that list, and I threw him in there. I think he's perfect here. Michael Stuhlbarg is just such a utilitarian, exceptional supporting character actor who is dying to be nominated for an Academy Award. And we do not do enough for these people, who are in these roles. Like, as of recording this, right? New York Online Film Critics Society did some really wonderful choices, and they were like, supporting actor Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. I'm like, he's fine. But, like, you had an opportunity, to really take a swing for a supporting actor, somebody who's been in the business a long time, that the Oscars frequently, snub, and all these people are sort of on the outskirts of the category right now. Like, we're so lucky to have Stellan Skarsgård as a pretty decent lock for nomination. But when you look at people like Stuhlbarg or Delroy Lindo, who are like on the cusp, they could use as much of the promotion as possible. I think a much more inspired choice would have been Delroy Lindo for Sinners, just to kind of get that ball rolling. But that's just me. Use your voting wisely. And I feel like they did that in terms of their actor, actress, and supporting actress. Benicio del Toro was more just like, yeah, we didn't like Sean Penn that much. We liked Benicio more. Great. Okay. But he's a lauded actor already. Anyway, um, I digress. Back to After the Hunt. I have no idea and I've seen this movie twice now. It has audio description. And actually, I have not only Amazon really wants to make sure everybody's seen this movie, so I got a digital screener for it. I have a Prime subscription, and I have a physical screener for After the Hunt. So like I I think in like a week, Julia Roberts is just gonna come to my house and be like, have you seen this? Amazon sent me here. I'm going door to door. Um, and no, I'm not that high up. I'm gonna get whoever plays Alex in this. It's gonna be my After that. Um, some peripheral cast member. I'm here to campaign for After the Hunt. Who are you in the movie? Alex. Oh, huh. Cool. Uh, there's a scandal. It's at Yale. It's decidedly at Yale too. Just right up says at Yale at the beginning of the film. There's this thing that it does with a ticking clock, and it stops at certain times, which means I know that Luca's doing it for a certain reason. Like the clock is ticking down to something, and it's effective when he chooses to take it out. Otherwise, you're like, why the fuck is this clock ticking? And then when he takes it out, it's like, okay, so he wants us to notice this moment. And I've heard from sighted people that the beginning after the little credits thing is done in this very like Woody Allen. I think this is a broad stroke thing at cancel culture and this new generation that's coming up. At the end of the film, I'm gonna try to avoid broad spoilers, but I will talk about things that jump around in the film. At the end of the film, when they're showing the stuff in the bar, and in the background, they're talking about like how um, Instagram is ending its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, and Meta's ending its third-party fact checking software, stuff like that. That we're moving away from those kind of things. And then considering where like Iowa Debris' character ends up, it almost seems like he's throwing down a flag and saying, "Yeah, you got defeated." I feel like that's his. Like I've seen the film twice now, and I would keep watching it just to be like, "What are you doing?" I think that's what's fascinating about After the Hunt is that it's a mess. But it's a lovely mess. It's a beautiful mess. Some films are a mess, and you're like, "God, get this thing away from me." But this one is just like was he high? Like, what is he doing? Like, what is Luca doing in this movie? So it's fascinating to watch the specificity with which he does certain things. And he has this routine. Like Michael Stuhlbarg puts out these vitamins every morning for Julia Roberts, and they show that scene multiple times to reinforce the fact that Stuhlbarg is really this sort of like uh, very underutilized husband that Roberts sort of takes for granted. But it's always the vitamins. He always sets the vitamins, and he sets the glass down, and he gives her like a touch and he walks away. And he does it like 3 or 4 times in the movie. And it has nothing to do with anything in the movie other than to support Michael Stuhlbarg's character as this like steadfast husband who kind of knows that he's been cuckolded, and is just kind of navigating around that. He feels like he's the guy that grew up thinking he was a 5 out of 10 and then saw a 10 out of 10 in Julia Roberts. And it's just like, well, I'm just happy to be here. It's like one of those characters. But he also is wickedly smart in the film and offers a lot of like really like pointed conversation in the few scenes that he's utilized. So he really is like the fourth lead here, and I wish more people would talk about Michael Stuhlbarg because I love him in this. Julia is excellent. I I've a lot of people have said it's her best performance since Erin Brockovich. I think she's done a lot of good work since Erin Brockovich. It's just I think you have to be careful about what you say because she has been nominated in the time between, and she was in August Osage County, and she's not going to get nominated for this. So it's like, well, okay. Um, she's also had a couple of performances on television that have the one where she played Margaret Mitchell, and also um, Homecoming. So she's had a couple times where she's been excellent on television. So it's not like Julia Roberts just suddenly pops out of nowhere and gives an excellent performance and then runs away, and never to be seen again for decades. Uh, yeah, I mean she's excellent here. It's a very mature performance from her. She navigates these scenes really well. I love her in this. Garfield is fine. I didn't. He's probably my least favorite performance. Um, Although I have to think about how Luca's trying to use him. There's a scene. This whole thing centers around, and this is not a spoiler. It centers around like the claim of a sexual assault, and he ends up on the wrong side of it. And you're never really told what happened or shown what happened. It's not one of those films. It's sort of like how Sorry Baby cut away also. Like Sorry Baby gets up to a certain point and then it's just like, and we're moving away. So, and then everything is up to the audience to decide. But Garfield, he has a scene where he's, trying to recount like his side of things, but he comes across as such a douchebag because at the same time he's like devouring this meal, and he says these things like he brushes it off. He's like, "Yeah, you're saying the same thing that every guy said in my position." Blah blah blah. He doesn't really seem concerned, but he should be. because later on he seems more concerned and he seems more enraged and he seems more frenetic about things. And I also don't think Luca quite understands how colleges work because people keep going to Julia Roberts like she's in some sort of weird mediation phase. She's not above anybody. She's only above Iowa Debris because Iowa Debris is a grad student. So why is Garfield making a case to her at all? Garfield should be making a case to, his boss. So, and trying to tell his side of the story. Why they're trying to sway Julia Roberts when they both, because that's essentially both of them tell her their stories, but she's clearly her judgment is clouded by both of them. Maybe it's because she can't admit to the fact that she had an affair with Garfield, and that's even though it's like highly implied the whole time, like from the beginning, like every time they have a chance to have a stolen look or stolen moment in the opening scene, like they stare at each other they're like, is there a closet? Can we get in? Can we get in this closet? Just can we just fuck right now, please? Like it feels like there's this sexual tension between the two of them, like with people around. So by the time that you're ever actually those words actually ever uttered by anybody, you're like, well, duh, figured that one out like an hour and a half ago. So Iowa Debris' character is gay and has a non-binary partner, which comes up later in a really scathing uh, statement from Roberts, who I loved her scene where she comes back down on Iowa Debris. That's probably her greatest monologue in the movie. I love the thing about like, not everything is supposed to make you comfortable. Is it so true? Yeah, I could watch this film 5 more times. I find something new in it every single time, and it's so weird because I would never argue this is the best film. I do not think this should be a screenplay nomination. I love Stolberg, and I think that's as far as I would go for it for voting. It might make my top 25 films of the year list, but it's not good enough to be in the 10. But I'm fascinated with this movie. I'm fascinated with Guadagnino's choices. I think he makes a lot of really strong choices. I'm fascinated in a good way. Last year, I appreciated some of our train wrecks because at least they were interesting. Like, I hate watching terrible movies that aren't even interesting, that are just terrible. And there's nothing that's interesting about them. At least Megalopolis and Joker Folie à Deux were doing something interesting. It didn't work, but for that first watch, I was not bored. I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? Oh my God. Like the whole time you're just like, what is this? You're watching this film, and at least there's some attempt at artistry there. Sometimes we just have bad movies and they just fucking suck. They're just incompetently made and there's nothing interesting about them and they're a slog to get through. After the Hunt is a hot mess of a film that I really enjoy. It is, I have no idea what Luke is doing here, but have some idea. Like I'm picking up on vibes, but he kind of sends out different vibes about different characters at different times. He then gives Roberts this backstory that she talks about at the end of the film that I'm like, is this necessary? Did we need this? And we keep hinting at it throughout the course of the movie, but I'm not really even sure that needed to be there. But I guess maybe I don't know. I would love to hear Lucas' thoughts on this. So yeah, After the Hunt, uh, I'm a defender of it. I liked this movie, and by God, I'm gonna give it a good score because I liked it, and I've seen it twice, and I enjoyed both times through, and I would watch it again. I would if somebody was like, I haven't seen After the Hunt, I'd be like, oh my God, we have to watch this. Like, I would be thrilled to watch this again with people who haven't seen it and just to watch them go, what? It's fun to watch people. I did actually the second time through. I was prompted because I wanted to show it to my mom. Like, what do you? And she was like, I have no idea what's going on. And I was like, I don't think I do either, but I love it, and I don't know why. Like, I can follow the plot. I get the story. I get the main, but it's the thought process behind Luca Guadagnino. His director's commentary on this would be the most interesting director's commentary that I think I've ever wanted to hear in like the last 20 years. I really want to know like all of this stuff. I want to see a Luca Guadagnino interview. I'm going to seek it out this year if he does any of those panels, those FIC panels that he has to sit down and talk about After the Hunt. I'm just so intrigued. by like choices and reasonings and like, why did you do this? And what are you hoping the audience gets out of this? And what was that? What was your thought there? You know, he ropes in this like pain thing that Julia Roberts has and gives Chloe Sevigny like, I don't know, like 2 seconds of screen time so that she can be in this movie, so that she can have this point that comes back around, but it's unnecessary to the larger plot of anything. It's such an interesting and intriguing movie. Um, I think everybody should see After the Hunt and make up their own mind. It's definitely a film that if you uh, have stayed away because of bad reviews, it's not boring. It is not dull. It is at best it is at worst weird. You know, at worst you'll be like, I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. And then you'll turn it off. But like if you have Prime, please check it out. Like you already have it, so it's there. It's on Amazon Prime now. So yeah, I think yeah, don't just let people who don't like it tell you not to like it, because that's I could have done that and been like, well, everybody else didn't like After the Hunt, so fuck it, I'm not gonna like it. But I actually really like it, and I would watch it a third and fourth and fifth time. And there's something to be said for that. So I'm gonna give After the Hunt an 8.3 out of 10, because while I don't think it's the best picture of the year and I don't love it, and it's definitely got problems. I'm not gonna like anybody who wants to fight me is I concede. But I think it has some great acting in it. It has some really nice beats. It has some smart moments to it. It has some just like whip smart dialogue at times. It's flawed. It's definitely not Guadagnino's best film, but it's also not his worst. So, yeah, that's my hot take on After the Hunt. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for sitting through my sickness, and I will see you guys on the other side.